This conference will now be recorded.
Venu, I have some doubts.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Yeah, the first question is like, can we check the data center details through instance, like which instance belong to which data center?
Which instance belongs to which data center? So in
Yeah,
the
like you said.
URL itself, we'll come to know what data center that you are in. Okay, and in provisioning, you'll come to know.
Okay.
Okay,
And like the
instance you
demo is okay.
cannot see which data center it is in. Let me check if we have that here. Actually, in the version information. No, we don't have it here also. What was that? The question?
Uh, yeah, and like how to raise ticket to SAP and how to request for provisioning access as a
Yeah,
consultant.
that's part of the course content what we have. So
Oh,
here,
okay.
if you see, we'll be covering that as well. Okay.
Okay, okay.
Here we have Launchpad and HXM Cloud. Okay. So this probably tomorrow we'll be covering this part, Launchpad and HXM. Whatever pending theoretical part that we have, we'll be covering that in tomorrow's session. Today we'll be discussing on configuration workbooks and implementation guides.
Okay, and one last question I have, Venu, is like, can we see in the system where are admin opt-outs or opt-ins and provisioning opt-outs and opt-ins, and from where to uncheck? Like you check.
Provisioning. Now, by looking at the configuration or looking at the screen, you cannot say that no, this is released in 1H or 2022 or 2021. No, you cannot make out that. Now, in the upgrade center, you have here upgrade center. There also you'll find all the information, whatever that we have seen yesterday in the community.successfactors.com. Okay, so they used to post. I haven't seen this option in the last release, but we used to have all of that information, the release information also here. You see here release center, the upgrade center. If you go to upgrade center, you'll see release center. Okay, you'll see here 1H 2020
Yeah,
production
I
release. So
checked this, Venu, but why it is showing like 1H 2020? Why it is not
yeah,
showing 1H 2022?
yeah, because they used to update this earlier, but I think they have stopped updating it here in the SuccessFactors instance. After till 2019, these are all even 2020 also these we had quarterly releases. That's why you see here Q2,
Yeah, yeah.
Q3, and Q4. Yeah, they've stopped updating the information in the release center here.
Okay.
Now, all the release information, the best portal to get the information is community.successfactors.com.
Yeah, that's the best place even, but that requires S user ID, right?
Yes, that requires as user ID. So everybody will have as user ID, even from customer end also. They will also give some as user IDs.
Okay, so like the person who has SAP Learning Hub access, they can log in, right?
They can log
Because
in
I
with
have.
the same as user ID.
Okay.
Any as user ID will do for community.successfactors. Only for downloading
Okay.
the content like implementation guides and all, you need a partner. I'll tell you that today.
Okay, sure, Venu. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Any other doubts?
No.
Okay. So today's topic is on the partner edge. So we'll look at. So we spoke about Learning Hub also, right, yesterday? Yes or no? Did we not? Did we not speak about Learning Hub? Okay. So if not, we'll do that today. It's a small topic again. Now, once you have done your certification, to keep your certification active, I think we have discussed it yesterday, right? So if you have done your certification in 1H 2022, that meaning June, you have done your certification. Okay, which is 1H 2022. Now, when the release happens in 2H2022, which is on 9th of December, okay, by the end of December, you will be getting a delta or stay currents of this release. Okay, and those delta or stay current can be done from Learning Hub Access. Earlier, we used to call it delta. Now we are calling it as stay current. Okay, now this Learning Hub access is generally given by your implementation partner. You don't have to purchase or subscribe for Learning Hub because it is very expensive. It costs you somewhere between 3.5 to 4 lakhs. Okay, now getting certified is your responsibility, and keeping your certification active is your implementation partner's responsibility. Because once you have the certification, if you are to work on the implementations or on the projects, you should have the active certification. Now, what happens is every time there is a release, like 2H2022, SuccessFactors recommends you to have the knowledge in all of those release features so that you can guide the customers. Okay, there might be some there might be some configurations which are not available earlier, but in this release they must have included it in the system. Okay, so you should aware of all of these things. So your stay currents will contain only the questions from the release what has happened from 2H2022. So you will have up to 5 to 10 questions, and you can do this stay current any number of times. There is no limitation. Okay, so that's your deltas. Now, once you do your delta, now your delta, you will have time from December end till, I think, February end or March end. Okay, from December, starting from December, you'll have time till Feb end. Okay, so you need to clear your delta before your 1H2023 comes. If you don't clear your delta, the certification what you have done here, the 1H2022, that will be expired. Again, you have to do certification if you have not done the deltas. If you have done delta, then your certification of 1H2022 will get updated to 2H2022. Now, same with the other releases as well. So every release you should keep updating, or you should keep doing your stay currents to keep your certification active. Is that clear? On the Learning Hub?
Yes.
Okay. Now, next topic is your partner edge, which is very, very important. Now, here, did we talk about S-user IDs? No. Once you subscribe for the certification, SAP will be giving you a S-user ID, which will be in this form. Okay, let's say this is your S-user ID. Now, when you subscribe for certification, SAP gives you S-user ID, and that looks like this. When you join any organization, any implementation partner, they will convert this ID into partner ID, implementation partner ID. So it will be similar to your S-user ID, but it would be a different ID. That's it. Now this is your own ID, and this is associated with your partner. So this is called your partner ID. Now with this partner ID, if you have Learning Hub access, you can log into Learning Hub. You can log into community.successfactors. You can log into help.sap. You can log into provisioning. So you can use this implementation partner ID to log into any of the SAP applications. But you cannot do the same with your S-user ID. Only if the S-user ID is associated with partner, then you'll be able to log into any of these URLs. Even the provisioning can also be logged in with the same S-user ID. Okay, now every time you move or you shift your career, let's say you're moving from one organization to other organization. Like today I'm working for Deloitte. Tomorrow, if I leave Deloitte and join IBM, I will have to share this S user ID with IBM SAP team, so that they will convert again, they will change, and they will give the S user ID. They will give their S user ID, which is associated with that partner. Okay, then I can use that S user ID again for all of these URLs. So here, the partner edge, you can log into partner edge using the partner S user ID, which your implementation partner has given. So what can be done here? You can download implementation guides, which is very important. You can download kickoff templates, and you can download config workbooks. You can also download configuration workbooks. Now, implementation guide, you can use, or you can refer this document for your implementation, for your certification, for any kind of information about the configuration. You will have to refer implementation guide. So it explains you each and every configuration step in detail. Why should we do that step? Know what we have to do in that step. What are those fields? So it explains everything in the implementation guide. Okay, let's go and see how to download these implementation guides. Now, once you log into Partner Edge, this is the Partner Edge. Okay, let me just copy it here. This is Partner Edge. This is your community.successfactors, and this is training.sap. Okay. Now, once you log into Partner Edge, go to Products, Human Capital Management, SuccessFactors HXM Suite. Okay. Now this is about SuccessFactors. You go to Implement, Tools and Assets. Under Implement, go to Tools and Assets, and scroll down. Here you will see the Explore Implementation Resources by SAP SuccessFactors Solution. Click on Explore. Click on Explore, and you will see all the modules of SuccessFactors here. Now you will find all of the documents related to implementation and administration guides, kickoff templates, configuration documents. So all of these documents you'll find it here, the module wise. Employee Central, you see it here. This is the core HR module. Then we have all talent modules here. Okay, let's go to Employee Central. Now under Employee Central, when you click on Employee Central, you'll find the guides here, implementation and training assets. You click on implementation and training, implementation and administration guides. Now it opens up in help.sap. Both of them are same, Partner Edge, help.sap. You go to implement, and you see the first one, implementing Employee Central core. This is your THR 81. Now all the content of THR 81 is available in implementing Employee Central core, this implementation guide. So every 6 months, or whenever there is a patch, whenever there is a change in the configuration, SuccessFactors would be updating this implementation guide. Now you can download this into PDF. It explains you each of these steps, how to do the configuration, how to navigate, where to navigate. You see here, provisioning, what we have to do. Next. Okay, prerequisites. Once you log in, so you'll have to do all of these setups. You click on this, it shows you the navigation. Log into provisioning with your username, password. Select the company from the list. So it explains you each and every detail here. Where to navigate, how to navigate, what steps we have to follow. Now, starting from next week, we'll be doing the configuration. So again, we'll come back to this implementation guide. We'll see the implementation sequence. SuccessFactors recommends us to follow a particular implementation sequence. If you are new to Employee Central implementation, then you can follow the implementation sequence that is recommended by SAP. Now, these steps we'll be following. Okay, next week when we start configuration, we will come back to implementation guide. This guide, it is there in the drive. You can download this implementation guide, keep this handy. It is very, very useful, very important. If possible, try to have the a printout of this book, so that you have the handy. Instead of every time logging into the system, you can refer to that book as well. So if you go through the complete book, it is 299 pages, I think. Okay, 299 or 297 pages. It is worth printing the implementation guide. It's very useful. Okay, that's your implementation guide. Now you also have other documents here, like now this is the core Employee Central. Okay, Employee Central core. Now for certification, for implementation, this is fine, but we also have other optional modules in SuccessFactors like global assignment or position management. For them, you have separate implementation guides here: compensation data, apprentice, dependents, global benefits, and so on. So we have separate guides for them as well. But implementation guide covers 90% or complete the core module here. Okay. Going back to Partner Edge, the next thing that we have is the configuration workbook. This is very useful. Every implementation will have to log into Partner Edge and download the configuration workbooks. Now, what are configuration workbooks? Now, in Employee Central, we have 5 configuration workbooks: Foundation Object Workbook, EC Employee Data Workbook, Benefits is optional, HR Transactions, Employee Data, this one and this one, both of them are same, these are duplicated, Position Management, and People Central Hub. Okay, we call it PCH. So PCH contains mix of the foundation objects, transactions, and employee data. So for the configuration workbooks, you need to download all of these configuration workbooks and share it with your customer. You share it with your customer. Okay, now the customer, what will customer do with the configuration workbooks? Let me go open the configuration workbooks. I have downloaded this morning itself. I'll go here. First, I'll show you employee data, EC employee data workbook. This is the latest version. You see it here as 1H2025, 1H2022. Okay. Now, this is your Employee Central Employee Data Configuration Workbook. Okay. You need to fill the company to which you are implementing, the company ID, kickoff date, and go live date. You have table of contents in the next tab. So these are all the portlets that are covered here in Employee Central or EC master data. First one is your biographical information. Now, employee profile is split into multiple portlets or blocks. Each of the block, now if you know SAP, it is like an info type. Each of the block you will be maintaining some data for employees. Okay. Now, biographical information, you store the employee date of birth details. Now, if you go to Employee Central, any employee, you go to any employee. Now, if I have logged in as one of the employee, if I go to employee files, I will see my profile. Now, this is the employee. I have logged in as Laurent. So it has opened the employee profile of Laurent. Now, under personal information, you have biographical information. Now, this is biographical information portlet. What fields do we have? I have person ID, date of birth, country of birth, age. So these are the 5 fields that I can see in biographical information. If I click on this pencil icon, you see this pencil icon, this is edit. You click on pencil icon, it opens up. Now you can, now person ID, this is not editable. You cannot edit or change. This is editable, and wherever you see the star, this is mandatory. This field is mandatory. Without date of birth, you cannot save the record. You see, this is highlighted. You cannot save the record. Country of birth is mandatory, and you choose country from the drop down. Age is not editable. System automatically shows up the age of employee. Any employee you just open, system shows up today's age. Now these are the custom fields which are configured. There are some custom calculations which are done, and system shows up the age. Today, as on date age, system will show as on date age. Tomorrow, if you see, it will show up as 26, 43 years, 9 months, and 26 days. After 4 days, it will show 43 years, 10 months, and 1 day. So it will update every day. So you don't have to do anything. When you open the employee profile, it shows up the age of the employee as on date. Yes, go ahead. Somebody had a doubt.
Yeah. So how can you show the path how to download the workbook?
Configuration workbook.
Yes.
So when after logging into PartnerEdge, you go to Human Capital Management, SuccessFactors HXM suite, Implement, Tools and Assets, and Explore. Under Explore, you have all of these modules. Any implementation guides, any module specific implementation guides can be downloaded here. Go to Employee Central. Click on Employee Central, and then you'll get implementation guide configuration workbooks here. It's taking some time. Okay, so Employee Central, and then you see here configuration workbook. Click on configuration workbooks, you'll find all the workbooks here. These are the workbooks. Just click on it, it gets downloaded. Now I'm showing you the Employee Central EC Employee Data Workbook. And here in EC Employee Central Workbook, you see the biographical information. Here in the biographical information, you see the first one as a system field ID. Now these are the field IDs of the fields what you see in the front end. This one, person ID. So for every field in the back end, you will have a system field ID. So this is the ID, person ID field, person ID external. What you see in the front end is SF label. This is what you see, person ID. This field, type of this field is string, which is a text or a number. String, if a field is data type is set as string, you can enter either text or you can enter a number. Maximum length, it says 32 characters. That means here you can enter up to 32 characters. The person ID can be up to 32 characters. Visibility, edit. Here it is showing as edit. Now if your customer says, I don't want users to edit the person ID, you can go change it to view. And this is the change you have to do. So highlight this part. Now here you see this is not editable. This is only view. View meaning you can only see the data. You cannot edit. So standard SuccessFactors gives you the visibility as edit. It allows you to edit. And here we have changed it to view only. So you can only view. Now if a field is set to visibility none, that won't show up. Now you see here this field, place of birth field, this is there. This is a standard field, but this is not available in the front end because this is set as none. If your customer says, I want to use this field, they will go mark it to edit and say, highlight this. Customer label. Now SuccessFactors gives the label as person ID. Now your customer says, I want to see it as employee ID. So they will have to mention it here and highlight this. Now, when we open, the customer will see, fill all of these details and share this workbook with us. Now this is what we have to configure. In the biographical information, we have to make this view. We have to make the customer label as employee ID. You have to make place of birth as editable field. This is not editable, so we have to make it editable. Now, mandatory, yes or no. Some fields are mandatory, some fields are optional. If it is optional, it is set to no. If it is mandatory, it should be set to yes. Now, let's say date of birth, I want to have as mandatory. So, this is the change that we have to do. All of these changes we have to do in the configuration. And when they look at the employee profile, now system should show this as the employee ID instead of person ID. System should show date of birth as a mandatory field. System should show this field, place of birth. We have to go enable the place of birth as well. Okay, now this is data type string. Date of birth is a date field. Country of birth is a country field. It shows up all the countries in the drop down. Region of birth is a string, which is a text field. So these are the fields that are available in biographical information. Apart from these standard fields, you can also have 20 custom text fields, which is custom string 1 to 20, custom date 1 to 10, custom long 1 to 20, custom double 1 to 20. So that means you can have 20 plus 10, 30 plus 20, 50 plus 20, 70 fields. You can have additional 70 fields here in the screen if your customer want to have some information. Only in this screen they can have up to 70 fields. Now these are also not available. Now attachment is not enabled, date of death is not enabled, birth name is not enabled, place of birth is not enabled. So all of these are to be enabled here. Okay, so for each and every portlet, similarly, you have here personal information. You go to personal information, you'll see here some fields like first name, middle name, last name, gender, and so on. You go to personal information, you see the fields here. You see, first name, we see the first name as first name. This is a text field. It allows 128 characters, which is editable, and this is mandatory field. Business first name, this is not enabled. You see, visibility set as none. Last name, editable, mandatory. Middle name, editable, not mandatory. It allows 128 characters. Now your customer says, I want to have 250 characters here. So change this to 250. This is the change what we have to do. Now all of this configuration will be doing it in the system here. You go to manage business configuration. You go refer the configuration workbook and change all of the field values. Now biographical information, if there are any changes to be done, go to biographical information here. This is your biographical information. In biographical information, you see identifier, personal ID, external. This is ID, field ID. Label, what you see in the front end is person ID. Now, this one, if I have to change it to employee ID, change it to employee ID. This is enabled. This is mandatory. No, this is not mandatory because it is set to no. Date of birth is enabled and it is mandatory. Now some fields like region of birth, it is not enabled. If you want, you go change it to yes. You want, you go change the text. Or if you want to add, now you see here, custom fields, age in year, DDYY. So these two are two custom fields. You see here, custom long one, custom string one. These two are two custom fields which we have used to show the age of the employee. In the drop down, you will find all the fields that can be configured. Now custom string 2, 3, 4, and so on, because one we have already used here. So it is starting from 2. So all of these can be added in the biographical information portlet. Similarly, you have personal information. Go to personal information, you'll see first name, last name, salutation, and so on. Clear? Configuration workbook.
Sir, how to add the field there? There's a custom string 2. I want to add there in personal information. It was
personal information.
string 1 was already there, na? I want to add one more. So
One
how
more.
we will add?
Yeah, choose from the drop down, choose custom string 2. What do you
So
want to have the label as?
Okay.
text field.
Okay. And about the what? See,
You want to
if
add
I
one
want
more?
to no, if I want to know the date of confirmation from year 6 months. So how this calculation will be here?
Have it as date of confirmation. Now this date of confirmation, this is a date field. So instead of string, you have to select date field.
Okay.
Date of confirmation.
Done.
Now you want system to calculate this one, you need to write a
Yes.
business rule. You need to write a logic.
Business rule.
Yeah, business rules. Yeah, business rules can be written to have the logics applied. Now you should tell the system what do you want this field to be updated with. This is a date field. Now what date you want to update? Want to update the hire date plus 60 days. Okay,
Yes.
system calculates the 60th day and puts that. We'll see that in the business rules session.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, that's how we have calculated the age. Now, how is this age getting calculated? Because it is calculating from your date of birth. Based on your date of birth, today's date minus date of birth is giving your age. The same age, you are showing it up in year, month, and dates as well. Okay.
Okay. Okay, sir.
Any other doubts here? Configuration workbook, employee data. No doubts? Come on, morning match, we had plenty of questions. At least 30 minutes we had no only the questions.
We will get the user ID in this session. As user ID to download this Excel sheet.
No. As user ID, what did I say?
That is the company one, correct? But
Hmm.
do we'll get the Excel sheet today?
Which Excel sheet?
This Excel sheet which you are displaying to us.
Configuration workbook.
Yes.
Don't call it Excel. This is configuration workbook.
Okay.
Yeah. You'll get this. You can speak to Satish or Ravi, they will share this material with you.
You can download that.
Yeah, you can download, but you should have partner ID to download that.
Yes, sir. Right now we don't have that same, correct?
Yes.
That is why I
So
was asking.
why SuccessFactors doesn't allow everybody to download? See, if you are an individual who has done your certification, let's say you're not associated with any implementation partner, and you have done your certification. Just because you have done your certification, you cannot go and implement for your customers. Then nobody will go to Deloitte or Wipro for implementation. Every customer will go to an individual and ask them to implement.
Yes, sir.
Right.
I have my user ID
So,
of SAP HCM, and also I have a company's user ID, but I don't know I have the access for to download the same. I need to ask them.
try to access. You should be having them.
Okay.
Just go to partner edge and then try to navigate to
Download.
configuration workbooks and download. It will take you to help.sap. Now if you have the partners as user ID, then it should be allowing you to download.
Okay.
Okay, but again, all of these documents, we have it in our drive. You can also download from there. We don't ask any user ID for downloading that. Okay, so for each and every portlet that you see on the employee profile here, you have the configuration. You have the fields which are configured. Okay, now these fields, based on the customer's requirement, which fields are to be enabled or which fields are to be hidden, will be doing that. Okay, that's on your Employee Central EC employee data workbook. For each of these portlets, you see here biographical, personal information, national ID information, phone information, email information, address information, primary, emergency contact, dependent. So all of these blocks are portlets, what you see on employee profile, you will find the information on the configuration workbook. Now this is called the people profile. This page is called people profile, where you will have all the information for one employee. You can search for an employee, you can see the employee details, and you can have the profile picture updated here, either by employee or HR can update the profile picture. You can have your own background image. You can have your information, some information. This is globally for all your end user, for all the employees. You can have some data displayed, like it can be a designation or location or department or manager of that employee. So you can choose what information you want to display. This is called quick card. On the quick card, system will show up some information, and for each employee you'll have to maintain all of this information: personal information, biographical ID, contact, address, dependence. Now what fields you want to use? Now different customer says, a different customer asks for different fields. Now these are the standard fields which are available in SuccessFactors system. Now, sometimes your customer may ask you to have some additional fields, some custom fields here, or maybe some standard fields are to be hidden. So all of these things you will be doing it in the configuration. Okay, and these requests we get it in configuration workbook. Okay, that's on your employee data. Second is your foundation object. Now foundation object meaning the objects which are used to build the structure of your organization, structure of job, and structure of pay. So every company uses a different org structures. Now, if I look at my org structure, I will have the information like the department that an employee is working in, the division that the employee is working in, the function that employee working in, business unit or the company, okay, or the location that the employee is working in. So you will have all of this organization related data. Similarly, you will also have job related data and pay related data. So all of these objects are called foundation objects, and you have a workbook for foundation objects as well. This is your foundation objects. Now in foundation objects, again, same thing. You see, legal entity. Legal entity is nothing but a company. Now in system, if you have to create a company, let me show you. I'll come back to this. I'll explain you all of these things again when we do the configuration. Okay, just to show you the configuration workbooks, I'm opening it here. Now, while creating a legal entity or company, you have some fields here. Now, it is not just a company name or company ID that we have to create. There are many other fields which you have to fill to create the company. The start date of the company, legal entity ID of the company, legal entity name, legal entity meaning company, description, status, default location of this company, standard weekly hours of this company, currency of the company, country of the country of the company. So you need to fill all of these details. Now some fields are mandatory, some fields are optional, some fields are drop down. So all of these are defined here. Legal entity ID, this is the text. It allows 32 characters. Now you go here, legal entity ID, you type something. Now it says reach the maximum length of 32 characters. That means here system has set the external code or the legal entity ID to have 32 characters, not more than 32 characters. So it doesn't allow more than 32 characters. Here it allows that more than 32 characters. It allows more than 32 characters here, because description, you see here, it is 128 characters. This is required enabled. This is required meaning mandatory. These are mandatory fields. So similarly for all of these objects, now your customer will go See, now your customer will not give the changes here in the legal entity ID because this is configuration. Mostly 99% they will not ask for any changes. I don't want to have legal entity as mandate option. I want optional field. No, they will not give that requirement because this is done by the consultant. Now company is created by consultant, not by your customer. In fact, your customer will not have access to this page, but they will have to give the legal entity data. How many companies that we have to create? What is the company code? What is the company name? Similarly, how many departments you want to have? Now, the company you want to have departments. How many departments? What are the department names? Okay, so they will be giving here. Similarly, the locations. Somebody was asking the other day, right? So what if two people create the same location, no same the location code, they keep the same location code. What happens if we keep two locations with the same code? They will give the code here, and you will follow the same codes. And system doesn't allow you the duplicate codes. Okay, so this is on the location data. Similarly, these are all the objects, foundation objects that your customer has to give. Pay components are nothing but your wage types. So they'll have to fill how many pay components they want to have. Let's say basic, HRA, special allowance, medical, convenience, PF or income tax. So these are the components that they want to have. Additionally, they want to have some components like bonus, meal allowance, and so on. So they will add all of the pay component details here. What is the code that we have to use and what is the pay component name? Now your customer will fill all of these details and share this information with us, and we'll have to configure that in the system.
So basically,
Clear?
we will upload the same Excel sheet, correct?
No, we will not upload. Now this one we can use. This part, look, pay component data or no location data. This one we can use it to upload. Again, we don't use this to upload the data into system. Uploads you will find a different template. If you
Okay,
have
sir.
to upload a location, you have a different template in the system. The template can be downloaded. The content can be copied from here to that
Okay,
Excel to the file. Now, same thing, the upload file, all the upload files are CSV files, the Excel files. So you can copy the data from here and paste it in the template. You cannot upload this file. You
okay,
cannot upload this file because this is now see here location code here in the front end. If I go to location, if I go to create location, if there is only one company or no 2 or 3 locations, then you can manually create it. Okay, you don't have to upload. But if you have hundreds of locations or hundreds of departments, then you can have all of this data maintained in the template and upload back into the system. So here you have location. So you don't have a field called location code here, right? This is actually showing us code,
cool.
not location code. Okay, so here it is showing us location code. So you cannot upload this file. So you need to download a template from the SuccessFactors system and fill the data into those templates and upload back into the system.
This will also be shown to us, correct?
Yes, this will also be shown. Yes, imports is part of our syllabus. If you see here, content, we have, so we have this org foundation objects, job foundation objects, pay foundation objects, generic objects, manage employees, manually hiring these employees, and also introduction to CSV files here. You see here, import employee. We'll see import of foundation objects, import of locations, import of departments. You'll see all of them. Okay. Clear on configuration workbooks, employee data, at least employee data and foundation workbook.
Sir, about the in the start page employee file, okay, so there was a background image that will also be shown to us the configuration part.
Yeah, that is covered as part of themes.
Right now, we are just getting the information, correct?
Yeah.
Employee files, the background is there now.
Yeah, this one.
This background, so
This
where
background.
to
This
be
background,
changed.
I'll show you how to change. These are all simple things, okay? And you can also change the this colors, this logo, okay? Background, this table colors or the screen, what you see, all of the colors can be changed. Table
Okay,
colors,
information.
background colors, this background, all of this can be changed. We'll see that.
Okay, sir.
Venu, this workbook means like how we are controlling the screen of the success factors. Is it that altogether?
Yes, this is actually what your customer want to have in the system.
Yeah, screen control.
Yeah. Now it doesn't control the screen. It gives you the requirement of fields what your customer want to have in the screen.
Okay, like making
Now,
requirement, hiding.
yes.
Required
Now
field,
the
hiding.
configuration, this configuration workbook you'll be downloading from Partner Edge. You share it with your customer. Explain them what needs to be done. They'll go through the document. They'll fill this document. So what is available, what is not available, what they want to have in the system. They'll make those changes. Like they'll highlight all those changes that they want to have. Once it is completed, they will give the sign off and they'll share those configuration workbooks with us. And then we will start configuring them in the system. Okay. Personal information, they want to have these additional fields. Go add those fields. Now, personal information, some fields they want to change the length of the maximum length of the field, or some field we have to make it mandatory, some custom fields to be added into the system, some logics is to be applied, like some custom field they want to have some calculations, so we need to work on the calculations. So all of that we'll be doing it in the configuration.
So these characteristics which are not uploaded through these workbooks to the success factor.
These now characteristics of the foundation objects, this can be uploaded. Now this part is done in the XML. We'll talk about that on in Monday or Tuesday session. Okay. Employee data, you will not upload the characteristics. Now employee data configuration, whatever that you see, whatever fields that you see here, now this data, the field characteristics, that will be controlling from the screen itself, not through upload.
Okay.
We also have upload option, but we'll be doing it in the front end. You'll see it easy, maintaining it manually instead of doing the upload. If it is an upload for these field characteristics, then you have to do through coding. Okay. So every time you have to download that code file and then make changes in the code and then upload back into the system. Instead, we can do it manually in the front end itself. You don't have
even
to.
Even the custom fields also.
Even the custom fields can be enabled or disabled. That can be done from either front end or from the back end also.
Creation of the custom field, enable, disable.
Yes.
Creation.
Yes. Yeah. Creation meaning now system allows you in this particular personal information portlet, system allows you up to 20 string fields, text fields. It allows you to create 10 date fields. It allows you to create 20 long fields, 20 double fields. Apart from these fields. Now, each portlet, I'm not talking about the entire profile. In this portlet itself, you can have up to 20 fields, 20 text fields, up to 70 fields. Forget about types of fields. Up to 70 fields can be created here in the same screen. Now, you can have 70 fields in personal information, 70 in biographical information, 70 in phone information, 70 fields in address information. So all of these portlets you can have those custom fields.
Benu. So like for in SAP like for the implementation step are SAP methodology. So like that, SuccessFactors, like what are the steps for
No,
doing the
we still haven't come to that stage. We'll be discussing that in tomorrow's session. We'll complete this part first, partner edge. You see
okay,
here, somewhere we have implementation methodology. This one, we'll do that tomorrow's session.
okay, okay. I thought that like you come to configuration like
No. Configuration will start on Monday. Tomorrow we'll be covering all of these topics, like whatever balance we have, that will be covering. So these are all simple, like Launchpad, and then your provisioning access. Provisioning access maybe probably on Monday. Tomorrow we'll be covering on the Employee Central kickoff template, which takes some time, maybe half an hour. And then your activate methodology is part of that kickoff template. So why I have not discussed this one is it is part of your kickoff template, which is which we have to do that from here. We have to cover this first and then go back to kickoff template. Here it will be covered. Okay.
so having so to have the access of partner is you should have an employee of some company, right?
Yeah. Okay. And then we have, after the foundation objects, employees, employee data, we also have the transactions, ECHR transactions. Now transactions meaning all the events, the event reasons that we perform on the employee. Okay. Now events means your hire, transfer, promotion, termination, suspension, and so on. So we have around 30 plus standard events available in the system. So you cannot create any additional events. You can create any number of event reasons for each of these events. Okay, but you cannot create any custom events. Now, what events you want to use and what are the logics for those events, that you will be defined here. Okay, so you'll have hire. This information probably you'll find it in the PCH book. Let me show you that. Here, this is PCH. This is combination of your like foundation objects and then your employee data. So all of it are is covered here. You go to event reason. Event reason data. Now see here, these are the standard events. If you see here, these are the standard events. Hire, rehire, transfer, promotion, probation, completion of probation, data change, assignment. So these are all standard events that are available in the system. These are like 20 plus, up to close to 30, 20 plus events. If you don't want to use some events, you can hide them. Okay. But for each of the event, you need to tell the system the event reason, at least one event reason for each event. Like if you have a transfer. Now, location, when you change the location of the employee, that is also a transfer. When you change the department of the employee, that is also a transfer. That's a department transfer. When you change manager, it is also a transfer. That's manager transfer. So these are all different event reasons for transfer. Similarly, for promotion, it can be only grade change. It can be only salary change. It can be the combination of both grade and salary change. So you have these promotion event reasons. So your whatever event reasons that your customer want to have, they will have to specify here. Hire, maybe for regular hire, I want to have one event reason. For contractor hire, I want to have another event reason. So may specify that here. For transfers, you want to have department transfer, company transfer, country transfer, manager transfer, division transfer, business unit transfer, cost center transfer. So mention all of them here in the event reasons. So each of the event reasons and the logics for those event reasons. When should a particular event reason occur? Now in the system, if I go change some data, system will automatically give me the event reason. I'll go to one of the employee. Is one employee called Ganeshan. So what I'll do is I'll go to, if I want to move this employee from one grade to other grade or from one location to other location. So I will have to choose what is the effective date that you want to move this employee from. Maybe from November 1st, I want to move this employee. Okay, what do you want to change? You want to change location, or you want to change cost center, or you want to change department? Let's say I want to change department. So he's in human resource department. I want to move him to corporate functions and say save. I've just selected the date, effective date, and I've selected the department. It says the transfer request. This is a transfer. Now, how does system know when you change a department? System is saying it as a transfer. Now, similarly, if I go change the job code from associates or from this to vice president, from manager, I'm making him vice president. You click on save. It says promotion. Why promotion? Because the employee is changed from vice president, from manager to vice president. So I don't want to move him to vice president. I want to move him to trainee grade. Okay. From manager, I'm moving him to trainee grade. Now you save the record. It says demotion. So depending on the change, what you do, system is giving you those event reasons. These are all event reasons what we have seen. Now those event reasons are to be captured here. What event reasons you want to have here? All the transactions that your customer want to have are tracked here. Okay, so we'll stop it here. We'll continue tomorrow, and tomorrow we'll be having session at 7:30, not 6:30. Sorry, 7 p.m. regular time.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, tomorrow we'll discuss on the kickoff template. Again, that's very important.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you all. Bye.
Okay, thank you, Venu.
Thank you.